So after a year, I can finally say my Newcrest base game save file is completely done. And I'm not joking, it took me a whole year to complete because we had a lot of base game updates for build and buy, create a sim, we had a brand new life state added into the game with more interactions that I wanted to make sure the save file was current enough to where we have no more base game updates as of right now when I'm recording. But I wanted to make a save file for myself, but also for you all, and kind of test the waters to see what I could do with base game, with my storytelling, my sim creations, and everything. So I decided to use my website for a change for my save file and also future updates. That way they're all in one place and less confusing. So my website is just springsims.com. I will link it down below in the description, along as a pinned comment, just in case if you want to download the save file for this version or future versions down the line. Now, I find it super helpful to have one-stop shop for my save file. So if you wanted to download it somewhere, you'll be able to go to this tab right here called SpringSims Save File. And on this page, you'll be able to click for previous versions, and it'll show you different versions of my save file. Right now, there's only one, but in the future, there will be more. But on this page, it shows you everything you need to know about this current save file, how many lots, how many sims, and also what you need for the save. Right now, it's base game, so it's free, it's open to everyone. No paywall, no nothing. And I have mine uploaded to SimFileShare, and I find it very helpful to also include how to download a save file and how to install it, because some people get confused and I get confused too. ADHD, Pisces, we messy. So I'm helping all my fellow ADHD people who need more help because Bessie, same. I'm gonna need some help. And it's my own save file, hello? But basically, it gives you all the instructions you need to know. I've also included a little notepad guide in the save file folder itself too. So once you have my save file downloaded, what I highly suggest you all do is make a backup of your original save folder in your Sims 4 folder. That way you have a backup just for as a precaution for whatever reason. All you gotta do is right click on your saves folder, click copy, and then just paste it to your desktop. That way you have a reference of where your saves folder is, just in case if your game crashes or gets corrupted or whatever. But you know, backups are always good and very handy. But once you have the save folder backed up, go ahead and extract the files of my save file, so that way you have the folder. And in this folder, you'll see two items, my save file and also a little guide on how to install a save file. Essentially, it's just a save that goes in your saves folder, not your mods folder. So if you know, you know. Now let's say for whatever reason you have a save file already named slot_0011 and you don't want to replace that and like conflict with any other save files. All you got to do is just rename the last two numbers of your save file to like a different number that you currently don't have in your folder right now. Well, let's say instead of 11, you can name it to 15 or 16, and the list goes on and on and on until you don't have that number. But that's basically what you do and how to install a save file in The Sims 4. But I'm going to show you in the game of what it looks like, because I personally am in love with the save file, and I think you all definitely will if you love storytelling, Sims, and also me as well. I think. I hope. Either way, let's go into the game. So once you have my save file in your saves folder and you have your game open, you'll be able to see my sim self as a sim for the save file called SpringSave v.1, which is version 1. I only put my sim self in the save file. That way it was like a familiar face and also name. That way it's like less confusing, and also not to spoil any of the other households within Newcrest. Now with Newcrest, there are 15 lots in total. So I have 10 residential, 4 community lots, and 1 rental lot. However, 4 of the houses are actually ready to move in. So I have the kitchen and bathrooms already prepared for your sim to literally move in with their own furniture. But there are 2 starter home friendly houses, and there's like 2 more upscale for sims who have more money or more sims that need to move in. And I kind of would say there's 4.5 because I built a whole townhouse with one side already filled in with a family, but the other side is not. So 4.5 ready to move in houses technically. So I created 9 new families for the save file, but 3 of them actually don't live within Newcrest. So I've put them all in the manage households category. Ignore me, delete me, I'm not there. But we have Eden Heinsohn, the Dyson family, and also the Mario Boston. And this entire save file is focused on two different families, the Rouse family and the Jones family, because everyone's kind of connected in some similar way. And I wanted to make sure that I had a lot of legacy gameplay in here, because I'm a legacy game player, family game player. That's who I am and what I do. But I also love drama and chaos. So some of the families might be related, but that's okay. It makes sense. But all the families are so cool. I really love them all. And I wanted to customize every single backstory that made sense for that particular sim based on their skills and their career and relationships. But first and foremost, I want to read you the town description because it's more important than the other households. But I will definitely kind of go through some of the houses, but not all of them. So that way I leave you all to explore on your own. So for the town description, it says, "Welcome to the charming and vibrant town of Newcrest, founded by Elton Jones in 1953, where imagination takes center stage and possibilities are as limitless as the starry night sky. Nestled between rolling hills and nestled beside a sparkling river, Newcrest is a haven for those seeking to forge their own paths and create their own destinies. In Newcrest, creativity knows no bounds. The town boasts on an array of unique institutions designed to nurture the imagination of its residents." And honestly, for Newcrest, for a world with their residents, their creativity is wild, because not only do the Jones and the Rouse family have drama, the whole town itself is just dramatic in my eyes, because it dates back to the 1950s, sometimes the 40s, because of Elton Jones and what he did. But regardless, you'll know more about that when I kind of go more in depth of each and every household, but I won't show all the households so that I will leave room for you all to explore on your own. But Elton Jones had a daughter named Iris Jones. And Iris actually lives over here in this gigantic mansion, the first house I actually built, the first family I created, and the first backstory I have created as well. Now, Miss Jamie Rose over here did not live here when I, made the house in The Sims. She came after the fact. But their town family description, it says, "Once a happy home 20 years ago, but since the passing of EJ, Elton Jones, Iris had to take over the house to bring back the town of Newcrest to its former glory, to show people they can be happy here. She even opened up her home to her best friend Jamie after the divorce and custody battle with her ex Isaiah. Will Iris help Newcrest be better for the sake of the future of her kids, or will she lose it all?" So as you can see, the house is pretty large and grand and green-ish. I wanted to make the perfect suburban family mansion for Iris and her two kids, along with Jamie. So that way, they live here and they're more prestigious than any other sim in this town. Now, I did base this house off of an IRL house plan that I found online, but the general inside, I wanted to have creative liberties with the general layout, of course. But we have our kitchen over here, our dining room, of course, the little mini office, hallway leading to the backyard, and this is a general living room kids play area with a side porch. As for the upstairs, we have everyone that sleeps, and the bathrooms too. Jamie tends to share the bed with Iris from time to time over here, so that way she has somewhere to sleep if she sleeps in the rental home next door one of these days. But we have two of the kids' bedrooms. Billy sleeps over here, and then Stacy sleeps over here. These kids are spoiled. They have their own bedroom, their own personality. That's what they get. And Stacy is actually a child who is really, really, really creative and wants to be an artist one day. And actually, Jamie is a mentor to Stacy. So she kind of trains Stacy in the whole artist track every once in a while, every other day. And Iris thought, hey, you're my best friend, you're a mentor, you're an artist, might as well move in with me and teach Stacy the artist track. And so that's why she's here. As for Billy, he is, a little science whiz kid prodigy and sleeps upstairs with his nice science station to do his experiments. And he's also a very good speed reader. So he reads books more than the average sim. But for Jamie, the reason why she's here, if you read the description, she had a very bad custody and divorce battle with her husband, Isaiah Rose, and things did not go so well between them. that it resulted into losing their kids both ways. And their kids now live with Isaiah's parents across town. And the family tree kind of reflects that a little bit. Axel Rose and Lorraine Rose all live with the grandparents. And Isaiah had another kid with somebody else named Jamie, but Jamie. And then this Jamie is named Jayme. There's no difference. Sounds the same, spelled differently. But Isaiah had another kid named Monica Rose with a lovely, lovely sim named Jamie Cordova, who used to live in Chestnut Ridge but moved to Newcrest to start a new life. And Jamie's mother is actually Azir Cordova, who lives with them. And then Camilla Rose and Emmett Rose live across town. And then as for Iris's family tree, she has, of course, her two lovely kids, and then, of course, her parents, Elton Jones, the mayor of Newcrest, who is dead, and then her mother, Lorraine or Leanne Jones, LJ, EJ, IJ. You know, the J's are really Jing today, but the family tree is pretty small. The kids don't really know their fathers, so I didn't really include them into the picture, but I think I might do a little sneaky something with the father in the future of the save file, to saying, oh, here's their father. He just magically appeared to like see if he could get some money out of Iris. But nonetheless, their father is not there, but he will be one of these days. Now, this part of the save file is actually the Newcrest Bar / internet cafe, but I built this with the intention of like thinking, oh, we have a post office, but we don't actually have a post office in The Sims 4. So I decided to convert it into like a little internet cafe, and on the other side is like the bar where people can perform. And there's a sim named Harvey Dent, who is a natural performer, kind of best friends association with Johnny Zest. And so Harvey tends to perform here from time to time because he loves music and entertaining people. So I wanted to include like a little entertainment spot up here for funsies for Harvey and some other Sims. We have the bathrooms back here, and of course the bar over here, and then more lounging over here. And I even include a little kids corner in the internet cafe for any kids that might come by if the parents are performing or they just want to, you know, take the kids away for a moment. But then back here, I have like a little performance area again for Harvey and some other Sims, along with like some gardening and some seating. And then in the background of the environment of Newcrest is another performance staged. And if you remember the sim sessions that we had a long time ago, we had like the stage with the microphone and the piano, and BB Rexa and some other people were there too, but they never included them within the Build and Buy catalog. So I had to find the stage set on the gallery, and it functions like we had with, you know, sim sessions. So your Sims can interact with this however they want and perform on here if they would like to. And then on the other side, on this side where Iris lives, is a little community space where I've included 2 gardening plots, a little easel, and also including this little arch over here from Debug. But yeah, this is like the general Newcrest Bar internet cafe that I think looks pretty snazzy. It has like all the things you need, little bits and bops of signage, more signage, and of course some world decor that I've added along the side. So before I move on to the next build, I want to show you the next family description of my favorite family, Camilla and Emmett Rose, with their 2 grandkids, Lorraine and Axel Rose. And it says, meet the Rose family, one of the first families to move into Newcrest in 1963. 10 years after EJ Elton Jones found Newcrest. It was Emmett and Camilla's dream to move to start a new life with their son Isaiah. In the past 4 decades, the family dynamic changed where Emmett and Camilla had a full custody of their grandchildren Lorraine and Axel Rose. All Camilla and Emmett want is to find peace in their retirement, to spend time with their loved ones without drama. As for Lorraine, she dreams to be just like her grandma. Can this family make it? So this house might look familiar to you all because I had built this back in like 2020, 2021, and then Max has favorited it back in February. In that time frame, to be honest, I cannot remember Everything was a blur 3 years ago, so don't quote me. But I built this house for the sole purpose of like 2 elders with their grandkids living here, and Camilla, Axel, Lorraine, and Emmett all fit the bill for this house, and it was very cute and grand, and it just made perfect sense. So the kids actually sleep in here. We have Lorraine's bed, and then we have Axel's bed, and then they sleep in here for Emmett and Camilla. And then, of course, their upstairs bathroom, their downstairs bathroom, and their general living, cooking space, dining room. And then downstairs is more like Lorraine and Camilla's reading space, because they love reading. They want to start a book club one day, and I want to give them that whenever I get together to do a club system for them. But book club down here, and then of course their storage antique area in the back of their house. So for the Sims in this household, I wanted to give them all individual skills, aspiration levels, career levels, everything. And Emmett is a retired astronaut, and Camilla, I believe, was a retired, like, some type of artist, writer type of person. And they both get pension checks every once in a while, so you'll see that appear throughout the gameplay. But Emmett has a lot of traits. He's entrepreneurial, he's a morning sim, he's a savant, he's a speed cleaner, and he also is like erratic, clumsy, and a bookworm. But he is a mentor to his kids and his grandkids. But I would say that his relationships are pretty standard. Not much going on here. He loves Camilla because they're married. He knew Leanne from back in the day when they first moved in. Doesn't really know EJ because he wasn't there that much and he was always traveling, so we don't really know him. But we have Isaiah, Lorraine, and Axel. And then for their likes and dislikes, they all have their own likes and dislikes. And I want to make sure that was added in there too. Now, I feel like with Emmett, he's pretty good. Camilla, she has a lot of good traits too. She is a perfectionist, a goofball, family-orientated, night owl, creative visionary, mentor, speed cleaner, super green thumb, and a quick learner. And Camilla actually has the same aspiration as her grandma, so everything is pretty much the same at that point. However, Camilla is like a mentor to Lorraine, so she has mentored in her school track. That's why Lorraine has a B level, and is also at level 1 of her barista part-time career from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., which is very, very early for me. And then Axel, he is just a charmer, but he has learned a lot of things when it comes on how to walk. He also has a lot of good toddler skills, so he's like really developed with all the things. And he's just like a little cutie patootie. Like, look at him. He's so cute. I wanted to give him a hearing aid on his left ear for like just funsies, and I think he looks really cool. But he's like deaf in one ear, so be mindful of that, friends. And so is Isaiah. Isaiah is deaf in one ear, and so is Axel. And I think he's just like a very dapper kid, but that does not stop him to achieving all of his toddler goals. So don't fool him. He will look at you sideways and saying, "Watch me. I've got this. Don't worry. I am talented. I am gifted." And the tables have shifted. But let's go to the other side of Newcrest and show you the Newcrest Park, because I love that place and it's really grand and it's where all the hype is basically at. Now, personally, I am no expert at making community lots whatsoever because they take way too much time and they have way too many requirements, but I feel like I low-key slapped on this one. But once you come to the park, you'll see the gardening area, the kids play area, your fishing, some easels, and of course, picnic tables back over here with some books on it of gardening reasons, because a gardening club comes here from time to time. If you have get together and some other packs for a gardening club, you'll have that. But on the other side, we have another kids play area and then a wedding set over here with a piano. And then of course you have your lovely traveling cart for local goods and services. And then the back area seemed kind of morbid, but it seemed valid to add it in for storytelling. A little graveyard, because we don't actually have a lot type called graveyard in The Sims 4. So I added one in, and I actually buried Leanne Jones and Elton Jones in the back of the graveyard, and you'll see them maybe appearing as a ghost, because I haven't gotten to that part where they're no longer there, but you'll see them from time to time. But their graves have been engraved on both sides, and all these other graves, blank. No Sims have been here. But if you do have Sims that eventually do unalive one day, just replace one of these graves with their grave, and then you'll have a filled graveyard of old Sims in Newcrest, or other worlds too. But as for the building itself, we just have like the basic bathroom, and of course the seating area upstairs, internet cafe with like a little kitchenette, seating over here, kids play area, because since we have infants now, I want to include this like little crib over here for them to sleep in if they want to. And then like in the general outside environment, I didn't include too much, but I wanted to include as much stuff as possible. Like over here on this side, I added in like a grill, and of course more seating, a random little bike. And as you can see, over here is the Newcrest townhouse, which the other Rouse family lives. The other Jamie, Monica the toddler, Azir, and Isaiah. They live on this side of the building, but on this side is completely empty. However, when you come to this lot, this side will be only open to the Sims that live here, but this side is locked for everyone until someone lives in there. So if you ever have a Sim or 4 Sims or 3 with one on the way, they could live here because 3 stories with a lot of added space. Nonetheless, we have this empty little ready to move in house with a ready to made gardening center over here, which is pretty grand, might I add. Not that bad. And then over here is the community pool on that side. So even before I end this video, I want to show you the environment of where Lorraine, Axel, Camilla, and Emmett live, because their environment is booming and popping, and I did not share that, and I meant to. But their area is so much more lively than Iris's area and Isaiah's area. Even though Isaiah has a park nearby and the pool, this area is more quaint and cozy and very community based. And you know how in Willow Creek, where Summer Holiday, Travis Scott, Liberty Lee live, they have like a community garden in their backyard? I want to include one in Newcrest, so I added one in the back where the Holden family live and Harvey Dent and also the other Rouse family live in this general area. So your Sims could like do gardening, painting, sit in the open breeze. They even can come over here and do some cooking on the grill, monkey bars. I added more seating in the back over here so your Sims can sit. And I also added in a bathroom because there wasn't really a bathroom at all in this area, which is very, very weird to me. On the other sides, they do have a bathroom, but this side doesn't. So I included one in here, along with some chess tables, activity table, and more picnic seating, and a tree that was not actually there. I know in this area is very blank, but I know once you include seasons, eventually there will be a roller skating rink or an ice skating rink that will spawn right here. So I left that blank for that reason. So if you have seasons, you'll have that there and it'll be more filled in, which will be very exciting. Then on this side, I added in 2 art easels, a grill, and 2 picnic tables, because originally you just have this pond and that's it. I added in some newspaper stands, a post box office thing that's not functional whatsoever. But then I also added in cars on the side of the road as realism, because I don't think we'll ever get cars, but I do love a good decor car every once in a while. So I wanted to add them in since no cars technically drive on this street, because it's blocked off because they only drive on the main road. But on this road, free gain. And personally, looks fantastic and I love it. But with that being said, I'm going to leave it right here and let you all explore the save file on your own free dime, however you so please. But if you do want to download any of the houses that I have built for the save file, along with the Sims, they're all on my gallery page. You just might have to scroll down a little bit further to find certain Sims or houses, but trust me, they're all up there. I hope you all like it. I hope you all download the save file and have fun with it, because this is like my child, my baby, my spawn. I live it. I love it. It's my favorite thing in the world. But nonetheless, as always, I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.